Hey guys, welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. My name is Krista. It's absolutely gorgeous outside. I think it's like 70 plus degrees out here. Really, really nice. I have my egg basket and we're just gonna go and get our eggs for the afternoon. Oh, you know what? I forgot the scraps. We gotta go and get the scraps for them. We have their scrap bucket now. I like to come out with the scraps when I come to collect the eggs in the afternoon, because that way the chickens are not in the nesting boxes. They kind of run out when they're little snackies. They're afternoon snacks is what I call it. Okay, now let's go in and see if we've got any eggs in here. She is so noisy too. She is the one that complains until the other chickens get out of this box, and she usually complains for at least a couple hours. She's not I will come back later and get them because she bites. So I'm not putting my hand in there because she'll peck at me. We have a barn cat, and he is a feral cat. We got him from the Bowling Green Humane Society as part of the feral program, and we just have a little food dish down for him right there. He's just up there because I need to bring him out some food. So he's up there reminding me that he doesn't have any food left. He's a really cool cat. He has one blue eye and one regular eye. So we call him Blue Eyes. Okay, let's just grab the eggs. I want to show you guys the garden update. So last weekend, Stephen was busy out here making me some garden beds. So I want to show you kind of the update. We now have, that's the one that we had there before, but we now have 3 other ones back there. This one is a littler bed. I think it's like a 4x4. Yeah, I think that's a 4x4. And then these are a 7x4s. What we actually plan on doing with these 2 7-foot beds is they are going to be our new strawberry patch. I just ordered a whole bunch of strawberry bare root plants, so they should be getting shipped out in the next couple of weeks. And so these 2 beds are going to be dedicated to just strawberries. We actually might get, well, we will. We are going to put so that's that bed. So we're going to put another bed right out here or right beside it, and then that's going to be another strawberry. I want to have 3 dedicated 7-foot long beds just for strawberries, and it'll be easier for me to manage weeds. I had my strawberries in the ground before over there, and they actually kept getting mowed over, and the weeds were just so bad. I couldn't stay on top of them. I let them go because I couldn't manage them. That is the plan for that. The other plan that we have for back here is we are going to get 2 other raised beds, and we are actually going to have raspberries in them. So we're gonna build some trellises up and just have them for raspberries. This year with that back garden, my goal was to really get the soil amended and good. I mean, it's gonna take years more, but I really wanted to start getting our perennials established. Really, in hindsight, we should have done the perennials like the first year we were here, but my reasoning for not doing them right away, I really wanted to understand where our land was elevated and where it was low. Because we have such a high water table here, it floods so bad everywhere. And I made the mistake the first year we moved here. I was so excited. I had waited so long to get my garden established that I just wanted to just do it right away. And I made the mistake and I put it over there. And unfortunately there, it gets a lot of shade. So that was not a smart decision. Hindsight, I should have waited at least a year and then put all the money and did it in the back, where now I'm starting to really put my focus on. So with the perennials, I really wanted to just wait and kind of figure out the best spot for them, because a perennial, it's a perennial. It's going to come back every year, and I need to make sure that it's in a good spot, that we're not going to need to move it again. My asparagus, unfortunately, I don't have it in a good spot. It is in a tiny little bed, and eventually, again, out in the back, maybe next year, I'll focus on getting a couple more asparagus beds in place. But this year, I really want to focus on the berries, because I love berries. I love strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries. And if we can have our own, that eliminates a huge cost every year of me going to pig farms. I can just do it at my house. I just realized something as I was standing there talking about that. Look at this tree. I don't know if you guys can see it, but look at what is on here. Can you see it? All the leaves are starting to come on the tree. Oh, that's so awesome. Our willow tree is the first tree to get its leaves every year and the last tree to lose its leaves. It really does not have a long time with no leaves on it. So that is the first sign of spring that makes me happy. Let's go inside, because I have some fun stuff planned to do inside today. One thing that I actually wanted to get done today was I have this bag of apples that I purchased when the kids were here for Christmas. So we have not really gotten into them. I think maybe they ate a couple of them. So what I'm wanting to do with these apples, because they are fairly old, I mean, they are perfect still, like super hard, they're not soft, they're not showing any signs of like going bad at all. However, I do not eat apples normally. Apples have an extremely high fructose level, and when I eat stuff that is like really high in fructose, it tends to irritate my tummy a little bit. So I don't just sit down and eat an apple. I used to, and I love apples, but I just know now that I can't really do that anymore. So what I want to do with these apples is I actually want to put them into the dehydrator. I think that Steven would eat them more if they were in the dehydrated form. It is a great little snack that he can just take and leave at his desk and just snack on through the week. So I think we're gonna try to do that. I have never dehydrated apples before. I've done a little bit of research, and from what I can tell, you have to soak them in a citric acid so that they don't go brown. So we're gonna get these apples peeled and cored out, and then we're gonna use our slicer and just kind of get them nice and thinly sliced. Just gonna get my apron on, because you guys know I tend to wear my food quite a bit if I don't have one on. We're gonna get that done, and then for supper tonight, I am going to be making a spaghetti pie. The recipe is going to be out of this cookbook. I have been using this cookbook all week because I started a new menu plan, so I've been really using a lot of these recipes. Last night we made an artichoke dip out of here, and it was so good. You guys will see that on the What We Eat in a Week video that's gonna come out next Monday, I think. But yeah, it was so delicious. So we're gonna make a spaghetti pie with that cookbook. And then the other thing that I kind of wanted to do with you guys, and I don't know if it may be too much of a task for me to take on today, but yesterday when I was making the pasta carbonara that we had for supper, I noticed that my spaghetti was really low. And I usually make my own pasta, but I love having some available that I can just simply I don't have to worry about making it from scratch. So I noticed that that spaghetti was really low. I got to thinking that I kind of wanted to go through my pantry just to see what else I was kind of low on. I am planning on making a video for you guys at the end of the pantry challenge, probably the beginning of March, and just showing you exactly how much we've gone through the pantry. The reason I'm wanting to kind of do this before the end of the pantry challenge is because I am starting my seeds next week. Next Monday, I am starting all of my brassicas, so like my broccoli, my cauliflower, my kale, all of that stuff is getting started next week. Then the following week, I am actually starting all of my tomato plants. And I don't want to plant like 100 tomato plants if I don't need 100 tomato plants. So I kind of want to go through here and see where I have an excess amount of stuff and where I am really lacking. I actually have a pen and a paper because I'm going to write this down because otherwise I won't remember. Just kind of looking at this really quickly, I see that I have a lot of plain tomato sauce. I have a lot of diced tomatoes, but I know that that's not going to be enough to last me 2 years. Because you have to remember, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, what do I need to plant this year? Because that's going to last me all the way until next gardening season in 2024. Is this amount of tomato sauce going to last me until July 2024? Potentially, but probably not. So what I want to do is, I know, okay, I do need to can a little tiny bit of tomato sauce to get us through to 2024, but I know I need to can up some diced tomatoes, and I definitely need to make some more of that tomato soup because I really love that tomato soup. The other fun project, and I know I've mentioned it so many times to you guys already, we're gonna can up some of this bruschetta. So absolutely amazing. I canned it last year thinking, okay, you know, it's good, I'll have it for a snack. We made that grilled cheese together and Steven was like, what is this stuff? It's amazing. So now he absolutely loves it and he's like, you need to can more of it. So we only have five jars of this to get us through until July. This is gonna be a special occasion stuff. So I know already that we need to can bruschetta. So I'm gonna write down bruschetta, that is one thing that we're gonna preserve next year because I don't have enough of it. And I don't need to write down diced tomatoes because I already know I wanna can a little bit. I wanna do at least one batch of diced tomatoes. Like barbecue sauce and all that stuff, we're gonna have to can it next year because I only have, I only have 4 jars of barbecue sauce left. That's not gonna be enough to get us through to 2024. But my barbecue sauce, I actually use ketchup to make that. And I don't know if I've told you guys before, but ketchup, I've kind of decided that is gonna be something that I am gonna be buying at the grocery store. Well, not the grocery store. Azure Standard is where I'm gonna be buying my tomato sauce because it uses up so much tomato to make that product that for me to grow that an excessive amount of tomatoes, it's just not, and it's so time consuming too. If I can't ever get ketchup, then I have the ability, I know how to make ketchup, so I'm not concerned with me learning that skill. I already know. But right now it is available to me that I can purchase ketchup. If I cannot purchase ketchup, again, tomato sauce is what I'm going to be using to make the ketchup. And the ketchup is what I'm going to be using to make my barbecue sauce. So as long as I have a stockpile of tomato sauce, I'm good because I can do so many things with that one product. So it may look like I have a lot here, but I definitely am still going to be doing a batch of it next year. Guys, I keep saying next year. We are already in the 2023 gardening season. So this year. So this year I know I want to do at least one batch of that. This year I'm going to be kind of focusing on growing some beans, some dry beans, so that I can can up some. I already have those seeds purchased because I already kind of knew that in advance that was going to be one of my goals this year. And I'm not too concerned with writing that down because I have dry beans in storage already. And then we've got like our potatoes, and you guys know I have mentioned a lot that I absolutely love canned potatoes. So that is going to be something that we are going to can this year a lot of. However, I'm not growing them. I can't grow them. They don't do well in my particular, because I have such a high water table that they just rot. They rot in the ground. In the future, I am looking at getting some amended spots for them. But right now, it's like I said before when we were outside, berries are my main focus this year for perennials. I don't want to focus on too many things because then I feel that I'm gonna overstretch myself, and then it's gonna go from me loving being in the garden to me being absolutely stressed out because I have put too many expectations on myself. So I'm being gentle with myself and saying we're gonna focus on the strawberries, potentially the raspberries, celery, and carrots. Those are our main things that we're gonna learn this year, and we're gonna get those skills good. I think that gardening can sometimes be intimidating to people because number one, they start gardening with the pretense of I'm gonna grow my food and I need this all to work out for me. And if it doesn't work out, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I'm investing all this money in getting these garden spots and I need this food to work out. And that alone is so stressful. Doing it because you've put that so much expectations on yourself, it makes it like almost not a fun thing to do anymore. So I have learned over the years, I have been gardening, I think the very first year that I really had a house that I could put a garden in was probably 2006. So I've been gardening for a while. Now, I've not been gardening consistently for that because we've moved quite a bit. And so we've been in rentals, and the rentals I never wanted to invest to put a garden in. So I definitely took a long break from gardening. But the last 4 years, I've really just gotten back into it and really decided that that's, you know, it really is a passion of mine. So one thing that I've learned from the many years of gardening is just don't put so much expectations on yourself. Be gentle with yourself. And no, if you don't grow, like if your tomatoes don't do well that year, don't stress about it. There is so many local options that you have. You have farmers market. Even the smallest town will have a farmers market. I live in a town that does not have hardly any people in it. And we have a tiny little downtown market where there is like maybe 2 to 3 vendors in it, and they sell fruits and vegetables. I also am extremely blessed with where I live. I have access to the Amish, and the Amish have an excessive amount of produce, like bulk produce. So I know, like last year, my tomatoes, absolutely a flop. I put them in compost that wasn't already composted, and they ended up completely dying. Some of them did okay, like I got I'm gonna say maybe 5 pounds of tomatoes last year from my plants, which is not at all. That is not at all what gave me that. What it was me accepting that that didn't work out and taking advantage of what I had available in my area. I went to the Amish and I bought boxes of bulk tomatoes and I canned them up. Does that make me a failure in the garden? Heck no. You're not gonna win you're not gonna win it all. So just use what you have available and be gentle on yourself. Don't put too many expectations on yourself with the garden. That conversation just really went sideways. We went from talking about what I was gonna do in my garden to that. I am so passionate, and I just really want you guys to be able to just not stress out about just trying to do everything all at once, and just just taking your time and learning how to do skills slowly and not putting the pressure on yourselves, because every single person can garden. Every single person can. That is one thing that I absolutely love about YouTube and me being able to create this content for you guys, to show you that if I can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. There is nothing preventing you from being able to do that. Farmers markets. Even if you live in a tiny apartment and you don't even have a balcony, put some herbs in your windowsill and go to the farmer's market. Put your canned goods underneath a bed. Like, you don't need to have an excessive amount of space. You don't need to have acres of gardens in order to be able to do this. Use what you have available and be gentle on yourself. So I just want to say that I absolutely love being able to put this content out for you guys and show you how easy it is to do this. And when I say easy, I don't mean easy like it's not hard work. It's hard work, but what I mean by easy is that you can do it. So I really want to be an inspiration to you guys and just show you that how it's possible to do it in any situation that you are, in any time of your life that you're in, whether you're young, starting out family, or whether you're older and your kids are all grown up and out of the house. Anybody can do it. And I feel blessed that I'm able to be here and showing you guys how I do it so that you can get inspiration to do it. And now I'm getting emotional. Oh, anyways, let's get back to my pantry. Okay, so we're gonna close up this pantry. I actually wrote down a few things. I actually had to go and take a minute just to kind of compose myself. I wrote down that I need to can some chicken broth and some beef broth as well, but I'm probably actually gonna do that in the next couple of weeks because it's getting low. I am now in my daughter's room. I feel bad for her, but this is where I keep all of my bulk storage stuff. I keep like my flour and my sugar and all that stuff in 5-gallon buckets, but it is actually not working having it in this room for me. It's just not accessible. When she is here on breaks from school, I feel bad for her because I'm always constantly coming in and out of her room grabbing this stuff. So what I'm going to do is actually bring it out to the other room. I'm actually going to be putting it underneath this table because they are all in gallon buckets. They're all sealed up. They're good. They're not in transparent buckets. They're gonna do fine underneath here. And I think that until we actually get our pantry built and designed, this table's gonna kind of stay here because in the harvest season, I actually use this table to put my garden stuff on. So we're gonna put all of the buckets under there. So I'm just gonna start to kind of bring them in from the other room right now. Most of my major items, like my sugar, my flour, and my rolled oats, I usually like to make sure that I have at least 2-gallon size buckets of them. So I'm not going to stack them because I won't have enough room to double stack them underneath this table. So I put them too deep under here. Now there are some things that I actually don't use a lot of, like the pinto beans, the black beans, and I have this whole wheat bread flour. I don't use a lot of them, so I don't want to take up space by putting them out here. So I'm just keeping the things that I use an excessive amount of, like flour, sugar, and rolled oats, and salt are the things that I use daily. So I want to have those ones out here. I also think I'm going to put the brown rice in the back as well because I don't use that a lot. And I always keep a gallon size jar in my actual kitchen, so I don't think I need that one out here because I don't think I have enough room for all of them. We're gonna put the rice back, but that is all that we're gonna do for that particular storage today. I wanna get started on these apples though. So let's finish that and then we will get started on that apple project. I have my slicer out here and I have my citric acid that we're going to soak the apples in. I don't have one of those fancy apple peeler things, so we're gonna hand peel it. I don't even have an apple core, so we'll figure out how to get the cores out when we do that. Let's get all these apples peeled. So as far as the pantry goes, I know I kind of cut it short when we were talking about everything that we were going to preserve. In March, we're going to go through the pantry kind of more in detail, and I'm going to give you guys another pantry tour. That was just kind of me just opening up the blinds, and I know I started talking about some stuff more in detail, but that was me just trying to figure out pretty much how many tomato seeds I needed to start. Actually, I need to get some water in here first before I put these apples in here. I just filled this up with some filtered water. I'm gonna add a couple teaspoons of the citric acid to this water. and then just stir it in so it dissolves. You can actually use lemon juice in this as well. That works also to prevent them from browning. We're just gonna stir it in, and then we'll put the apples in it, and then from there we'll worry about trying to get them cored and sliced. So anyways, as I was saying, I just don't want to waste soil and plant too many tomato plants that I don't need to actually have out there. So that's one of the reasons why I was doing that, just to save myself some time. But yeah, definitely I will be doing another full pantry tour with you guys, because I personally love watching pantry tours. I love seeing what people put up. I love seeing how people preserve their food. It's just very interesting to me. I'm gonna give the chickens my apple peelings. I have a huge gallon-sized bag of apple peelings in my freezer that I actually need to get used up. I was gonna make like an apple scrap jelly, but with these, I am just gonna give them to chickens because I already have some in my freezer. The other really cool thing that you can actually do with apple scraps is you can make an apple cider vinegar, which I've done before, and it is really awesome. Like I said, I have a whole bunch already in my freezer, so let's just give these to the chickens and I will turn these into eggs. So I don't have an apple core. I was able to take the peeler and kind of get some of the cores out, but some of them, they were just breaking in half. So I have like some pieces that are like this. So we're just gonna slice them with this, and then we might just get weird shapes, but that's okay. This is the first time we're gonna do this. One of these, very carefully do this. We'll get our apple slices on the trays. I'm gonna space them out nicely so that they can all dry good. There's enough ventilation. I'm thinking that some of these smaller pieces, like these really little ones, they would be yummy in my oatmeal. We got our last tray all ready to go in. So we got them all on here. Some of them are like really, really small. I have that at about 135, and then I'm gonna put it on for about 12 hours and then come back and check it. It might not take as long. We are kind of humid today. Actually, we are very humid today. Actually, might take longer than that to dry because of the humidity outside. So I'm gonna get this counter all cleaned up, and it's only 3 o'clock. So I think I'm gonna go up and try to get some computer work done, and then I will come back down, and then we will get the spaghetti pie all started. We're gonna get this spaghetti pie started now. I have a pot of boiling water here, and I'm just going to heavily salt it and get some pasta going. Now, I know it's called spaghetti pie, but I actually read the recipe and it says you can really use any pasta that you like. So we're gonna use this pasta. It's a really cool shape. And we have 1 pound of pasta. This is actually the pasta that we're gonna be using. I need to order more of it because I just checked in my back pantry and I'm actually low on this too. It seems like all of the pasta I'm really low on. So I've made a note of it and I'm putting it on my Azure standard order for next month. Again, I definitely have the capability to make my own pasta, but I absolutely love having the convenience of already pre-done pasta. And with gardening season coming up, I know that is a level of forgiveness I'm gonna give myself this month, and we're gonna have pre-made pasta. So it's gonna be easier on us. The recipe again that we are using is from this cookbook. It is on page 95 and it's called Johnny Marzetti. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna leave it below. Apparently it is a famous restaurant in Columbus, Ohio. I guess it's an Italian restaurant. This is where this recipe is adapted from, and it's just called spaghetti pie. So it says that it contains ground beef, tomatoes, and pasta, but we like to add mushrooms, olives, and or mozzarella. Any type of pasta can be used, so that's why I went away from the spaghetti, because again, we're low on that. I want to use that stuff. The other modification we are doing to this recipe, we are going to use canned ground beef. I did not take beef out of the freezer this morning, so it was rock frozen by the time I remembered about it. That's exactly why we can this stuff up for instances like this. So that is already pre-cooked. We just essentially have to heat this up and add some garlic to this. The other bonus with this recipe is we get to use some of our canned tomato sauce and canned diced tomatoes. So I'm looking forward to that. We are also going away from the recipe and we're gonna add some olives to it because Steven absolutely loves olives. And instead of some of the cheddar cheese, we're gonna make a modification and we're gonna use some mozzarella. So that should be good. So we got those started to get cooking because they need to be cooked. So what we're gonna do is in this skillet here, over medium heat, we are going to cook the beef. Now it does say that you can use 1 large onion, and it also says as an option you can use 1 large green pepper chopped. We're gonna omit the onion just because Steven doesn't like the texture, but we will use the granulated onion though. And then we're gonna omit the green pepper because I'm not really feeling it in this. So we're just gonna leave it out, but definitely you can add it in because it's in here. So we just need to get this ground beef heated up, and we'll add 2 teaspoons of minced garlic to it. It actually does specify 2 teaspoons. It doesn't say cloves or anything. So medium heat, we'll get that going, and while that's heating up, we will get some olives chopped up because I don't know at what point, probably once the spaghetti's cooked, we add everything together. I don't know, we'll see. Oh, the other thing we need to do, get the oven preheated, 350. And we are gonna be baking everything in a 13 by 9 Pyrex casserole dish. So that is what the recipe calls for. Let's get this ground beef opened. We'll get this turned on. Next time I do ground beef, I'm really gonna be more conscious about getting the fat off of it because this has quite a bit of fat pooled up on it. Oh, it didn't compromise the seal, but it definitely can. You want to try to avoid doing that. So maybe I'll do a video with you guys canning this. Our noodles are cooked, so I'm just going to get them drained and sitting on the counter waiting. I have a loaf of bread here, a loaf of sourdough bread. I made this a couple of days ago, so it's not like at its prime. It's been in a container the whole time. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this in the oven while that oven is preheating and just warm it back up, and that kind of helps make it a little bit more fresher. And I did drain off some of this water because there was too much of it in here, and I probably should have drained off a little bit more, but it's starting to evaporate. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to add our 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, and we're just using my favorite Costco garlic. Let's get 2 heaping teaspoons, because who doesn't love garlic? Oh, the other thing we probably should add to this stage as well, because this is where you would put your onions in, we're gonna put in the granulated onion. Helps absorb all that water too when you put that onion in. It says to cook this over medium-high, breaking the beef up with the spoon until browned and the vegetables are softened, about 10 minutes. But we get to like advanced step because we used ground beef, canned ground beef. So it's already cooked for us. Well, it's already almost cooked. So it's all heated up now. What we are gonna do is we are gonna add our tomatoes. We're gonna add a teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 bay leaf, and salt and pepper. And then we need to bring that to a boil. And then we have to reduce it down to a medium-low and simmer uncovered. Also, when we are adding it calls for a 28 ounce can of diced tomatoes. When we are adding it, we need to add ½ a cup of that juice. So I'm just gonna add it all in, because I think there's probably about ½ a cup in there. I haven't got to chop the olives yet, so we need to get that done. Had to take this off the heat for a minute because I had to get those olives cut up. So everything is heated up in here now. We have our onion granules, most of the well, actually all of the liquid has dissolved in there. So now we're gonna add our tomatoes, oregano, bay leaf, salt, and pepper. And then because we're adding olives, we're gonna add them in here also. I don't salt my tomato sauce or my diced tomatoes, so that's why I just put in a couple of teaspoons of salt there. If you wanted to even like bypass like all these tomato products, you could easily just throw in a can of pasta sauce or like marinara, something like that. You could easily just throw in there. This essentially is just making our own. Kind of one of the more chunky tomatoes. Another thing that would be really delicious in there, and I don't know why I always think of this after the fact, but if you had some frozen shredded zucchini, that would also taste really delicious in this, because again, zucchini takes on the flavor of whatever it's cooked in, so you can't really tell that there's another vegetable in here. But I don't have any thought out, so that's not happening. I can my diced tomatoes in really big pieces, so that's what I'm kind of doing right now, is I'm just going and kind of making them into smaller bits. Okay, so we need to bring this to a boil, and then we need to reduce the heat to medium-low and simmer uncovered, stirring frequently, and this needs to happen for about 20 minutes. And then we are going to stir in 1 cup of cheese and that pound of cooked pasta. It's boiling now, so I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes, and I'm going to turn this down to probably about a 3 or a 4. And we're going to let this cook for 20 minutes. It's been the 20 minutes. I actually took the bay leaf out of this. So we're going to add 1 cup of cheddar cheese to this. I just already have it pre-ground up. And then we have our 1 pound of pasta. So we just need to stir this in with the beef mixture. I feel like this is way too much pasta for this. So I just took this off the stove and just poured it into this 13 by 9 casserole dish. Next time I make this, I'm probably not going to do as much pasta because it really is very pasta heavy dish. Now we got that good and mixed together. So now we're going to top it with 1 cup of breadcrumbs. These are just some sourdough breadcrumbs that I made with the loaf. Add this on top. And then it calls for 1 cup of sharp cheddar cheese. We're just gonna use mozzarella just for variety, because we use the cheddar cheese inside the actual mix. So I wanna switch it up on the top of it. So now this has to cook for 30 minutes until this top is lightly browned. And then we have to take it out and let it stand for another 5 minutes before serving it. Okay, now we wait for 30 minutes. Okay guys, I want to show you, sorry, I'm in my my seed starting room. So everything is, you can see, everything's the color pink in here. The neighbors wonder what we're growing in here, because every single spring those lights go on and they all think I'm growing other things than seeds. Well, other kinds of seeds. So I want to show you, give you an update on the apples. This is what they're looking like. They're probably only going to need a couple more hours. You know what would have been really, really delicious? If I would have put some cinnamon on those, that would have been really good. Next time we do it. So I'm gonna leave those in for another couple hours. I just wanna thank you guys for watching today's video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. As always, I'm gonna come back at the end of the video and I will show you what supper looks like coming out of the oven, and I'll plate it up because I'm thinking it's gonna be a good one. And again, that recipe came from that Joy of Cooking cookbook, and I will leave a link for that cookbook if you are interested in it in the description. I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks again, guys. Pasta bake just came out of the oven, or spaghetti pie as it is called. So we have to let this rest for 5 minutes now. And I actually just put the bread back in the oven because it's gotten cold again. There's my plate, and the bread is nice and warm because I just took it out of the oven. So that is supper tonight, day 46. We are gonna go and enjoy some supper and kind of keep an eye on the weather because we have a couple very, very severe storms headed our way. So we were outside earlier, just kind of getting everything put away. So fingers crossed we don't wake up in the middle of the night to a bad storm. So we're just gonna go and kind of keep an eye on the news right now and enjoy our supper.